Okay, so you can pull out your I Have a Dream questions. Again, this is a speech made by Martin Luther King Jr. on March 28, 1963, which was made in Washington, D.C., and it was a civil rights march. Okay, so when you scan the speech here, and again, you're not reading it fully, you're just looking for words that describe race. Remembering that race is a group of people distinguished with common physical characteristics. In this case, it's dealing with African American individuals. So some words that stand out that you may have highlighted in your selection could be Negro, African American, segregation, racial justice, Negroes, legitimate discontent, biracial army, signs, said for whites only. Something else that you may have saw will not be judged by the color of the skin, but by the content of their character. So based on the terms regarding race that were selected, what kind of picture do you think was painted during the civil rights movement and the plight of it for African Americans? And I'll let you come up with those answers on your own. So number 2, the speech happened at the end of the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. It was an effort to draw attention to the challenges and inequality among African Americans. At the time, people didn't have any idea how famous the speech would become or how many people would show up. So number 3, some of the metaphors, again, this is an implied comparison without using like or as, would be the flames of withering injustice, the manacles of segregation, a lonely island of poverty, drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. I'm not going to go over what those mean, but I'm sure you can decipher what they do suggest. So King was a Baptist minister as well as a civil rights activist, so he had, I guess, 2 hats basically. What parts of his speech demonstrate that he was a Baptist minister? And again, this is coming directly from the selection, so it should be in quotation marks. All of God's children, with this faith, the glory of the Lord will be revealed. So again, some biblical references there that indicate he was a Baptist minister. So number 5, although King was calling for change, he did express some caution. He advised the audience not to engage in violence. He urged for non-violence and unity. And again, following this march, you can decide if he was successful or not. There was a lot of violence and riots that happened after this march, but again, you can research that on.